Red Sonja gets crap done. I mean, she's so freaking strong and has so much willpower. She said, let me put this rope around my teeth, pull this boat while swimming with something between my teeth to tow this ship to shore by pulling it with her teeth. Red Sonja. The more time goes by, the more technology and modern conveniences improve. When you think about how the world used to run years ago versus how things run now, it's night and day. It's almost like magic. If somebody from the past was to see how it looks in the future, they would be like, this isn't Earth, this is another planet. When you think of comic characters existing back in the day, you might think of Conan the Barbarian, but other than him, I already got a video on about him on the channel, you might think of Sonja, the one I'm going to be talking about in this video, who is kind of similar to Conan the Barbarian. It's interesting seeing Conan interact with our characters like Thor and Wolverine and stuff, but let's talk about Red Sonja, shall we, and how strong she is. Don't be surprised if I bring up Conan in this video a lot. I mean, she's literally in the books with him. She's even been dubbed the She-Devil with a sword. I guess one could say the barbaric age, they dub it the Hyborian age of Conan, you know, Conan's time period and stuff. This is how the world worked. She was born alongside a whole bunch of red-haired women called the Favored. There was this red goddess that created them, hair with the color of blood, and gave them strength. That's probably why she can do stuff that don't necessarily make sense for a human. Skill with weapons as well. Yeah, this red goddess. Yeah, because you know Marvel pretty much has every religion you can think of. Every kind of deity and every pantheon exists in Marvel, basically. This is one of the many deities. Just so happened to bless Red Sonja. And one of those characters going on so many adventures, you can't help but have fighting skills based on all the encounters you will eventually go through, right? They're really vague on the abilities she got from this goddess. So I'm assuming super strength and speed, the standard stuff. This is why she's way above your average human, I'm assuming, right? Like maybe that god entity, Celtic deity gave her some type of super healing because she heals pretty freaking fast for her not to be Wolverine or nothing. You know what I mean? Literally on panel. You've already seen her holding swords in this vid, but she can also use other weapons like a bow, aim like on some Hawkeye stuff to hit birds out of the sky, owl out of the sky. Part of the reason for her skills is she competes in competitive stuff against other skilled beings. Along with swords, she can throw daggers pretty accurately. She'll accurately throw javelins. Every weapon you can pretty much think of, even two swords, one sword and a knife, whatever you can think of. A shield, bow, axe. Yeah, you thought I was going to forget that she can use spears? Imagine being so good with a blade that you can out-sword fight somebody that has 4 freaking arms. So they have a clear advantage because they literally have more arms than you, but she can still get the W still. She can use them all. It would be weird if she lived during this time period and didn't know how to fight while on a horse. So skilled weapons, even when she's underwater, at a clear disadvantage, she can still take care of all y'all. She's constantly battling creatures in weird situations. But she always pulls it off, even if they're bigger than her, though. As long as she got that blade with her, they don't stand a chance. Since these type of characters or comics back in these older days give me caveman vibes, not only has she battled beings like Conan, but she's battled creatures like alligators, bears, all the stuff you can think of. Saying she can table flip is an oversimplification. You know she's physically strong if she can just leap around beings really high in the air. She's got absurdly strong legs because she can just jump over this wall like it's no big deal. She's literally strong enough to throw a guy grown behind man out of a window. Like, throwing that guy out the window isn't the only occasion of her literally ragdolling beings, like picking up a guy and slinging him all around the place. Strong enough to slam a guy, aka pick somebody up with one arm. Can slam a guy, for example, through a wooden wall. Men that are really large, she can sling. A good example of her strength is lifting up men in the heat of combat to use them as a literal shield, showing her skill, strength, and everything put together and being able to multitask. Like, literally size means nothing to her. You see beings this big compared to her mass. You can see her holding his arm behind his back like this. What more proof do you need that she's stronger than, like, normal men? She can literally pull multiple men at the same time with her physicals. I'll let you all see this pot for yourself. You can tell this pot of fire is pretty big, yet she still can help flip such a thing. Like in this occasion, holding a spear, literally holding the weight too while on horseback to show her physicals. If you had your doubt about her being super soldier-centric or esque, how about the fact she's strong enough to physically crush skulls with her strength like it's no big deal? Even when younger, you know she's stronger than your average. She can do this to a deer with her bare hands. Literally overpowered a gorilla here. This big entity, wolf entity's jaws, she can overpower and win. She towed this boat using her teeth and swam that way. Willpower and strength. Plenty of adventures with Conan, by the way. She was a helpful asset in pushing this big rock down. You can see how big it was. and she contributed to pushing. How hard can she hit? Thanks to, you already know she can lift a lot. Like, we've seen her cut Spider-Man's web, can cut through 2 men at the same time with 1 slash. Demon entities she messes up. Even if you have armor, you're not safe, she can still cut through you. We're not going to ignore she can use her sword. Hey, crystals. Bye-bye, crystals. She can slice with her swords. In this particular occasion, she doesn't have a sword, but she uses a mallet to smash some stone to kind of show how hard she can hit with weapons like this. I mean, goodness. Cutting through the door and the man's face at the same dang time. Just because you're a big giant doesn't mean your arm can't get cut off. Like, look at the size difference. She still can cut his arm off. Like, you can literally see it's a drastic size difference. Big beast, all she needs is a blade to take care of these beings that are massive in size, targeting weak points like this eye, for example, this big wolf. Even if we talk about her without a blade or anything, even when you strip her of her little armor she does wear from time to time, she will definitely improvise. And even if you're an army of the dead and you try to pull up on her, she will still give you some work completely unarmed. Gotta love how she can kick and obliterate tables. Y'all trying to stop her from getting through it. You see her foot. She can obviously get through. Why are you trying to keep her out? This gate she kicks down. Giant statues. You can see her use her legs and kick down all of this. More superhuman proof of her strength. They have to be strong when you get in scuffles with beings like this. She even kicks them so hard to where it cracks the thing that she kicked them on. To give you an idea of her strikes or how hard she can kick, or one could say punch. Constantly having to go against huge creatures. She slaps one with a rock. Like, look how big it is compared to her, and put in work against it. There's this boar-looking man you can literally see them scuffle or wrestle out with. You know, she got a weapon, of course, here. You can kind of see her fighting skills and everything in conjunction with one another, overpowering such a being with blades and everything put together. Look at the size difference between him versus her. She still won. Big bears she gets hit by and keeps fighting afterwards. Conan and her have an interesting relationship. I mean, they get some romantic moments here and there while they fight and stuff. There's a good chance Conan is holding back on her because he wants to be romantic with her. You know, good to know that they should be somewhere in the same neighborhood of strength, skills and that stuff. But yeah, they like each other. How strong do you think she is compared to him? Do you think she's 90% of strength, 80%? What do you think? Do you think there's a strength gap? I want to hear your thoughts. Even if you're one of those believers that believe Conan has the strength advantage, which is a fair assumption, right? It's plenty implied that they've got to be somewhere in the same ballpark. We've seen her match him pretty good. I mean, beings that are weaker than certain beings can still stagger or affect beings, but it's clearly obvious that the strength isn't astronomical, both being super soldier-esque, I would say. Like, you got a case like this where she actually knocks him out, where she had like a rocker though, so it's not really a real win right here, I would say. In this occasion, you see her hitting Conan and he falls down real quick. If we assume her punches are somewhere in Conan the Barbarian's ballpark when it comes to punching power, and he can punch heads off or skulls off with one hit, I would say this makes her a fair super soldier-esque century type character when it comes to how hard she can punch, fighting gorillas and stuff, just like Conan. And the fact he can freaking lift a car, she has to be somewhere in this ballpark, not to mention she's blessed by a freaking deity to an unknown degree. Her matching Conan is a big deal because he literally held open the mouth of a dinosaur. So I would say it's safe to say if she wanted to punch brick walls down, she would be able to punch through it. With her attacks, I would say that's fair. I mean, part of this is skill, but yeah, she has to be strong when her arms and stuff are chained to the wall and y'all still get murked, your head twisted and obliterated to somebody that's chained to the wall. Here's another occasion of Red Sonja being nerfed, like in this occasion being tied to the table, for example. So you clearly have the advantage, but even then, you still can't get the advantage over her. Like occasions like this when she's not armed and you're armed, she can catch your sword, kick you. Like imagine you having blades and y'all are all armed. She takes all of you guys on while she's not armed to show y'all not on her skill or strength level, period. She be beating swordsmen with her bare hands, guys. Y'all just are weak compared to her. With a blade, all her skills and everything working in conjunction with one another, we've seen her take on beasts way bigger than her, beings way bigger than giants, like the Sphinx in this particular case. Like, you see the size difference, you can see her taking it on, draining the life from them. Like, I'm not trying to say she's as strong as somebody like Spider-Man, but you know how strong vampires can get, right? You know, Morbius, for example, we've seen him actually knock out Spider-Man before. So vampires in Marvel are no joke. Take this as you will. Take these vampire occasions with a grain of salt. We've seen her interact with vampires. Even if you don't want to say this vampires in particular is up there with Morbius, this is still something that should be noted. Like, we know Spider-Man has a habit of holding back, but the fact that she was able to kind of do this to Spider-Man is kind of impressive. I mean, when it comes to her fighting speed, we've seen her clash with some Marvel characters like Spider-Man, somebody we know is ridiculously fast. It's not just Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's foes like Venom that are just as strong and as fast as Spider-Man himself. You can see her evading attacks from Venom himself, even showing the speed to cut him here. You telling me she ain't superhuman at this point? Another occasion with Spider-Man-centric characters like Hobgoblin, for example. He threw a bomb at her. She kicked it back. Can react and catch an axe mid-flight because of her reflexes. Throw it back and you get murked. Even something thrown by Conan himself, she can catch and react to daggers thrown by Conan himself. Same with catching the stones. Even if you try to throw it at her when she's off guard, you think you're sneaking up on her, but guess what? She got a sword in her hand, so guess what? You get cut. I love occasions like this when it shows her fighting speed. You can see her with a sword, all these bow and arrows coming at her archers and everything. They're deflecting them, showing their reaction and combat speed. Even when others are in the way or about to get hit with a rain of arrows, she can kind of move them out the way to save them. Also showing her pain tolerance, shows her reflexes to protect these people against a bunch of arrows. Yo, does she have like a second sense or something? Like a surprise dart you see, she reacts and cuts it mid-flight. Seriously, stop trying to shoot her. She just cut them mid-flight. Or just dodge them. Agile and fast enough to dodge attacks from whips. I wouldn't even try at this point to shoot arrows at her. She's just too fast and can block them consistently. You ain't hitting her with no dart. I mean, you got occasions where alligator men try to pull up on her. She has to be fast enough to use a knife to get them before they even get to bite her. When it comes to her movement speed or just speed in general, like she's by herself here, Red Sonja in this hood, she literally moved faster than the eye can see. Like she was literally in front of them and then they said, shoot who? Like she completely vanished from their eyesight. She's gone. Her fighting speed is way past your normal human level because it's literally stated in narration that she can move faster than their eyes can follow. That's probably why she's fast enough to block magic bolts with her sword and stuff of that such. This video by itself has already showed plenty of occasions of her fighting speed and how it's consistent when it comes to her fighting speed with the sword, deflecting stuff with her sword. Occasions like this, her evading magic lightning, there's implications of her fighting speed there. If this scan we're supposed to imply to be taken seriously and she can really react to lightning when it comes to her fighting speed, this would imply she can react to things coming at her at lightning speed, which would mean she can react to stuff that's going 270,000 miles per hour. Basically, it's like this. No pun intended, but she should be able to do something similar like this, deflecting bullets with her blade, just like this occasion in live action. Like she can do the anime sword cutting crap to where you don't even know you're cut, but you're already cut. I mean, she's nothing too crazy. She's ridiculously strong, but I would say she's probably, if we was to compare to Marvel characters, when it comes to her striking power, she can easily cut down brick walls. Something super soldiers can do in Marvel. Yeah, that's something she can do with a blade. Like she's around that neighborhood. Where do you think she belongs to when it comes to tiers? I feel like being up there with the super soldiers just makes sense for her lore, just like Conan's up there with the super soldiers. It makes sense. Lifting up a car, stuff like that. Based on all this evidence, I think it's fair to say that with her cutting power, she could slice big trolls down the middle, even if they're way bigger than her. I mean, this kind of stuff makes sense. We have seen her slice doors into pieces and slice through a human after slicing through the door. In this video, shown to be able to be fast enough to react to lightning bolts. Stuff like that is the type of super stuff super soldiers in Marvel do. It only makes sense for Red Sonja to be able to do this, right? But what do you guys think? How mighty do you think she is? I want to hear your thoughts below. I mean, she's always cutting up beasts stronger and bigger than her, as long as she got that blade. Even if you take away her armor, or if you put her underwater when she's at a disadvantage, it's still not a guaranteed win against her. But I'll see you guys later. Respect her. Thanks for the donations, everybody. Respect Red Sonja. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.